What do you want?
All right, 7 o'clock. You guys want to call it to order? We have quorum even without Jim, who I believe is flying. So, oh, there's Jim.
Yep.
Jim is here. So yes, we have quorum of all. And then your notice was posted at the front gate. Thank you, Jim. I sent you guys a copy of the March meeting minutes.
Thank you.
Yep.
I need to know if you guys want to waive them or.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written and waive the reading of them.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, for your financials, excuse me, as of February 28th, in your operating account, $139,633.65. Your reserves, $16,336.43, for a total of $155,970.08. I did send the board both summaries from both attorneys for the past due accounts. I know the big one has been 1511, and that is moving in process with foreclosure. We did fill out the paperwork and have it notarized to move forward with that. So hopefully that will be resolved here shortly.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions on financials?
Not 100% related to financials, but kind of. How's the RV lot? Do we have any opening spots?
We have one opening spot. I've reached out to a couple that are waiting. I do have one homeowner that has not, but he's the only one that has gotten back to me, is he has not purchased an item yet. So I can fill the spot with him, but I do know that we have 2 that had violations for having items in their driveway. I was hoping was going to get back to me. Once, I know it's later on, but once we formally approve the addition of the spot, that will make 2. And then I did send a certified letter to Tom about removing his item. So that should make 3. So that should cover the 3 issues that we have.
And the
Awesome.
one, yeah, and the one that I was telling you about is the address I sent you before that we're having the issue with the vehicle. She was asking about a spot in there because she has a trailer that's parked at a friend's house that she would like to put
Okay.
in there. So that was the other address.
Okay. Yeah. When you guys get inquiries about that, if you could just direct them to email me, that way I can figure out what spots we have, because our RV lot is configured so weird that it doesn't fit everything that would need to be in there. So that's just the best way to go about that.
I
do
did
have a
tell her-
wait.
Yeah, no, I told her to email you. I said
Perfect, thank
you were the best one to email. So if she does it, she does it. If she doesn't, it's her loss, you know, but I did direct her that way.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we do have, technically, we have 1 spot free right now.
Perfect.
Any other financial questions? All righty. Louisa, you're up
Yes.
with our.
Jim wants to know if we can see him. Can anybody see him?
Yes, we can see him.
Okay, good. I was like, yes.
Yeah. Could you get comfortable for us there, Jim? Because
I know.
you look pretty uncomfortable there.
I had a very hard day.
Oh yeah, okay. Did I give you, all right, so I'm gonna go through March because I know I did some in March, like the beginning, but towards the end of March, we had 1776 Sawgrass, with trees, and they are replacing them, and actually they have replaced them. They put fox palms in the front yard, and then they removed the oak tree from the back, and they're putting palms back there as well. 1724 La Maderia also had an oak tree lifting the sidewalk, so that was removed, and they were been informed that for them to replace that tree as well. Solar panels for 1669 Sawgrass. 1720 La Maderia, paint to the exterior of the house. And that was March. April, we have 1520 La Maderia for painting the exterior of the house. We have 1659 Sawgrass for a roof, 1700 Sawgrass for a tree, and they also are replacing, they're putting a tree in the front of their yard, and they laid out a landscaping plot as well. And then 1693 La Maderia for a roof.
Perfect. And if you wouldn't mind sending me your list.
Yeah, and then whatever's the double that you have already, just cross it out. But yeah, I'll send it to you like I did last time.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that.
Yep.
All right, anyone have any question on the ARC report? All right, we'll move on to old business. The electronic sign was delivered today. So hopefully by next week, that will be up. Fairway should be able to install that with no problem. So
Next week or this week?
hopefully by next week. I'm not going to guarantee this week because I have not talked to Mike about his schedule, but hopefully by next week, or I'm saying by next week, it'll be up.
What exactly needs to be done for it to be up?
I am not sure yet. I haven't seen it. And Dan's going to come by on Thursday to teach me how to use it. So once that happens, I will have a little better of an understanding of what all
right.
entails and not putting up, which is why I'm not guaranteeing this week. I'm saying by next week.
Okay.
But either way, it shouldn't be too big of an install that Fairway can't handle it. I just don't know if it is our maintenance man that's normally on site can do it on his own, or we'll need extra hands to have to call in the other maintenance crew.
Okay.
But hopefully this week, if not, definitely by next week, it should be up and going and ready for use. The fence repair, unfortunately, is becoming a bigger issue than I had hoped for. Dan actually nicely met with me when I met with Carrie's Fence. I still have not gotten that estimate from them. That was, I want to say, about 2 weeks ago that we met with them. We are running into an issue with fencing companies because so much construction is going on right now. They're having a hard time, one, getting in supplies, and two, because demand is so high, they are picking and choosing jobs. So I'm running into an issue with, if they did not install our fences, they do not want to do the repairs. So I basically have resorted to just going down the list on Google. I'm not getting many responses. I've reached out to other property managers. The owners of Fairways are reaching out to their contacts. So I'm sorry it's not completed yet, but it's just fencing companies are not
That's a little out of your control.
repair jobs. So that's kind of where we are with that. I will keep trying and keep updating as things come in.
As a side note, I think I told you, Joy, we had 2 metal pickets that were broken. You remember me pointing them out when we were, we have a bunch of little extra metal pickets that I took 2 of them and moved them over. Where I stole them from is not going to change the ability for somebody to get in or out of the fence. So, and I'd let the board know that too. So at least the metal pickets that surround the pool itself are all solid at this moment.
Yes, thank you.
And did you see the part of the fence knocked down again on the group, that section?
And I'll have Mike take care of that. He's been able to kind of just
Rig it.
Yep.
Yep.
To where it stands. And so yes,
Yep.
I will have him take care of that when his schedule allows that. But yeah, and he's supposed to be keeping an eye on that as well and kind of just rigging it as we go. So at least that is up, as well as he's supposed to be keeping an eye on around the ones with the playground area too, as that's, a safety issue for kids.
Right, and I think you're ordering new slats, correct? For the ones that are missing?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I am trying to get that to where we can have those on hand to replace as well.
Right, okay.
All right. Same kind of bad news for the pool resurfacing. Surfside has not gotten back to me yet on whether or not they will honor the price they gave us in, 2019, I think at this point.
For the pavers, right?
Correct. They were supposed to come out and make sure nothing additional has happened or any additional damage. They have not. I don't know if they're just super busy, just haven't had a chance to get out to us yet. I do keep trying to reach out. They haven't gotten back to me yet. So I will continue to reach out and update as that goes on. I do know he did tell me that they had a busy schedule though. So, but I just wish he could at least tell me when he would have time to at least get out. So
Okay.
We'll update as that if they need to go back to the drawing board on that with different companies. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We might just reach out to different companies. I know I did, we talked to Dan possibly, because we've been actually, since last year, we've been looking online in the stores to find one paver that's missing over there, and we haven't had any luck. So Dan had came up with a fix, hopefully. And so that at least that part could be taken care of. But if we can get other quotes from other companies, then maybe that might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, I'll start reaching out to people or to other companies again and see just as a backup, because like I said, they're not even responding to me at this point. So
Hey, Joy.
yes.
You're talking, has the surface of the pool ever been sealed?
Jim, I'm not sure of that off the top of my head. It has not been resealed within the last 4 years.
And that's what you're looking at. You're looking at a pressure clean, a sand and seal. Am I correct?
Yeah, the pavers.
But also resetting the pavers too. Jen.
Reset, yeah.
So resetting them and then do a sand and seal and pressure wash, obviously.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? No. All right, the lights for the RV lot, Flawless's truck has still not become operable. So Nick from No Worries, who is doing our landscaping, has offered to let the electrician use his truck. So once we can get the electrician back down here, we should have those up. So that should be done, I would say, by next week as well.
Are you using Huffman?
Yes.
All right.
And then the last old business item I have is fertilization, and Matt Spears has begun trading the properties. So you probably have seen him out and about.
Yep, he'll be out again on Saturday.
All right.
So that is all that I have for old business. Does anyone else have anything to add?
No.
All right. Going into new business, items that have been approved since last meeting is the pump. I don't remember what pump, Dan, what pump was that?
4.
Pump 4 needed to be replaced. That was a $2,200 repair cost. We did approve to get that done. That has been installed and should be up and functioning, good to go. 10 pool chairs were purchased for the pool for a cost of $197.80. And then 1744 La Maderia, you guys did approve to send them to foreclosure for non-payment, or put a lien, I'm sorry, to put a lien for non-payment. And then
1744. Whose house is that?
Profit, I believe.
Is that
Yours.
Watkins?
Your
Is that
house.
Watkins?
Yes.
What?
He said it's your house.
Oh, my house?
Yes, yours.
I wouldn't doubt that.
I think it's, hold on, let me pull it up before I give you the wrong last name. 1 second, I think I remember, oh, it's not on there. I believe it's Profit.
Is that the one that had the trailer in the front of their garage for a while?
No, that's 1704.
Okay, I know who it is then. I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way. I apologize.
Okay. The last item that was approved since the last meeting is to add the additional RV spot in the RV lot. As we mentioned earlier, we are seeing quite a demand for people to get into the RV lot. We have this one space. I don't know, for anyone that's been in the RV lot, there's kind of a curb and then just this long fence of empty space that would fit another smaller item without affecting the other spaces on the right-hand side. So we did go ahead to approve to add an additional spot 24. And Mike, the maintenance man from Fairway, is going to go ahead and take care of adding that in. All right. Next, for new business, we had discussed doing, instead of cameras at the pool area, doing Ring doorbells or Ring doorbell type apparatuses where we're having the issue with teens vandalizing the bathrooms and different areas of the pool. So this will, I believe the idea is for all board members to have access to these Ring doorbells, and when there's motion, it will alert a board member. That way, if something is going on, you guys will be able to kind of say something. If I'm correct, no, that's the point that I got from it.
You're right. That was the whole idea.
Just to kind of deter, we've had quite a bit of damage happen. Thankfully, not high cost damage, but still, I mean, vandalism that the association shouldn't have to be paying for. So instead of upgrading to the high cost cameras, that what it was going to cost, this will kind of live stream what's going on at that time. And I believe the idea, you're muted, Dan, if you're trying to talk to me. No.
No, I'm yelling at the dog and telling my wife to stop talking so loud.
Sorry. So I believe the idea was kind of to stop these issues as real time when they're occurring.
Right, and I think because it's been addressed with certain, it may kind of
die down, hopefully. Yes.
Exactly. Which I will email you. Dan had asked me if I can write everything down along with some claim numbers. I told him I'd try to get it done this weekend, but I have to contact the other officer to get the claim number from him.
Okay.
Or whatever number it is. Yeah, and then I'll email all that information to you with pictures too, if you want them all.
Perfect.
So to talk a little bit about that, let me see. I'm going to try a screen share and see if it works here, Joy. Let's see what happens. You guys see that? No?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, I got
Okay,
something.
All right, so it's a generic thing of what I called Spectrum about, and it kind of put together a little bit of an idea of how much it would cost us if we did the ring. You know, and I believe I sent this to all the board members, but I have some stuff later on that we're going to do screen sharing with, so it's easier for the board members to see. But as you can see, if we if we only have telephone service at the front gate, it would drop our bill down to $40 because we'd be canceling the internet at the front gate, which is $86.98. Then we could put a second account for internet only down at the pool at $72 for the first year, $97 every year after that. And then obviously, if you don't have a Ring device, rings are $30 per device per year, or $100 for as many devices as you want per year. Plus, obviously, the cost of the device, which is, I'm going to argumentatively say, a couple $100. So that would be the opportunity, or that would be the pricing as a general idea for if we wanted to do that.
Thanks, Dan.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyone have any questions in reference to the Ring doorbell or what Dan just so nicely presented?
I think it's a good idea. I think it's cost effective in one way, and I think it's a good, cheap way to provide security down there, which we really need.
Yes, I agree. And also, this would be a way of documenting any future vandalism. I think when you have it on internet, it can be saved. That Ring bell idea, it's a good idea, Ring doorbell. But I don't know if there's a way to save the information or save the footage.
Yes, Clyde, that is what your service fee every year is for, the $30. They're set up as motion detecting. So as soon as it detects motion, it starts recording. It sends that
Okay.
recording to the cloud. It
Okay.
can be accessed for as long as you want it to be accessed. So yes, it's our current camera systems are recording 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're not being cued by motion. These Ring doorbells are cued by motion.
So is this Ring doorbell implementing this in addition to what we already have, or getting rid of the?
I would
I'm
say
sorry.
it's adding to it.
Adding to it.
However, the camera system that is at the pool is old, quite old.
Yeah.
To the point of 2 boards or 3 boards ago, they approved to replace it because it was getting that old.
I remember.
Just the funds haven't really been there. And now we're trying to, the funds are there, readdress that situation and figure out which way we want to go. And
Okay.
one of the problems with the security systems is, okay, it may record it, but we still have to go look at the recording. Then we have to figure out who that actually is on that recording. Then we can call the police. Then the police have to go find that person. So it gets really convoluted quickly and not as productive as it could be, where we were thinking if we had the Ring system where we could literally get a motion alert and turn on the speaker and ask someone why they're there, that would be maybe a little more effective, because it seems that most of the time at the pool, it's just kids and all it takes is an adult to tell them, what are you doing? And
Yeah.
they usually leave. So that was the idea behind it.
I understand. Thank you.
Any other questions? Perfect. The next new business is additional speed bumps. Jim, this was you.
Oh, yes.
So I have been noticing a lot on from people that post on that Nextdoor thing, and just talking to people, that speeding has become a very, very big issue, not just in Bridgewater, but in Palm Bay in general. And a lot of people say how Sawgrass is like a speedway.
Mhm.
And yes, I had said the other day that I believe we need approximately 8 speed bumps. And I was kind of saying where they should be, where I think they should be. But I was talking with Dan, and Dan and I were, because Dan lives on Sawgrass, he was explaining to me how nobody stops at that stop sign at La Maderia and Sawgrass. They just blow right through it. They get the momentum and they fly down Sawgrass.
Mhm.
So we were, and instead of getting all the speed bumps at one time, which would cost us just a small fortune, because we have other things we want to do, if we could start maybe with 2, and then slowly, gradually, just keep adding them as we go. And maybe if we keep adding speed bumps, people are going to start getting a hint that that's what's going to start going in the neighborhood, because we need a total of 4 on Sawgrass, and we need at least 2 on Las Palmas at the 3-way. And then we can work our way around La Maderia, because you can get a good speed going on La Maderia. And so what Dan and I had come up with was, we need 1 at the gate as you come in, because people blow that stop sign and come right in, and you can't see the people that want to come around that corner. And then we need 1 at the stop sign at La Maderia and Sawgrass. So we wanted to start off with those two.
Yeah.
And that's
And
it.
the one part that me and Jim had talked about, because I looked it up before the meeting, the speed bumps price has increased, like everything.
Yes.
The one speed bump is now $408, where when we bought it, it was like $320. So, it's gone up $75 for that same speed bump. So it'd be nice to buy 3 today or tomorrow or whatever, but I'm comfortable buying 2 more for the stop signs, so. Because
Now, Dan, real quick, the one we're going to get for La Maderia and Sawgrass, that's going to go all the way across. Now that one's going to be cheaper than the one we're going to buy for the front gate, correct?
the $408 are for 19-foot speed bumps. The speed bumps that we currently have in the neighborhood are 19-foot speed bumps. So it is buying the exact same thing we have. So you get an idea of exactly how big it is.
Mhm.
All right, but we're not getting a 19-footer for the front gate, right?
Well, you and I had talked about that if we need to go measure it again, because if we just put it where the stop bar is, people who are heading towards the pool are going to skirt around it. They are, just like they were doing at Marcy's house, where they were skirting around it and driving on her lawn. So, and that's how we ended up trying to figure out where we were putting the speed bump. So I would say we need to go out and really measure it before we buy one for that front gate,
Right.
stop sign. But I'm just argumentatively saying 19 and a half or 19 feet, $400, as a talking point. So,
All right, so let me ask you another question. So when we put these speed bumps in, we technically strategically put them in so if people want to go around, they're going to hit something. So, I'm sure, I don't know if we can do that at La Maderia. So let me ask you this question. Is it out of the question if we were to put those poles like at the call box? You put a pole on each side of that speed bump.
I suggested, and actually kind of really Louisa and Jason are the ones who kind of went this direction in the beginning, was just get a sign, that would be appropriate for the location, slow down children or whatever, it doesn't matter, and put a sign at the end of the speed bump, in the grass. And create it by a decorative post like we have for all of our mailboxes and all of our stop signs and things like that, and just, something like that, just a simple decorative post there, if that's what we feel is needed.
So it's a decorative post and it gives some kind of information, whether it's a speed limit sign or a children at play sign or slow to hell down sign, something.
Even if it's a holder of wreaths that we change throughout the year, or it doesn't matter to me. The point was just something, we can figure out something to put on it. Yeah.
I don't want them to be able to go around the stop sign.
Right. Because, it worked really well in front of Ralph's house, because there wasn't really anywhere for them to get around because of the mailbox and stuff.
Right.
If we take our time, we know what we're up against this time. I think we can accomplish what we need to accomplish by, putting it in the right spot. So.
All right.
Now, the one at the front gate, we're putting it right at the stop sign first, like when you enter, correct? Or you're talking about putting it like exiting Sawgrass, like leaving the development?
No, put it as you're coming in.
Okay.
Put it there now. Like Dan said, we got to remeasure again,
Right.
just for the size of the stop sign, and because Dan, we were talking about when you pull in and your car stops, if you go over a certain point, the gate will start to shut. So I think we looked at that before. There's a line there, you could tell, isn't that?
That's there.
Yeah, the sensor lines. It's very
Yeah.
obvious where they are. So, and to not get off topic completely, but one of the things that we continue to see is obviously people come in the exit gate.
Somebody almost hit me head on.
Yeah. So one thing we've never done in the neighborhood, and I don't know that it's even the right thing to say, but you know how on the side of the road or in a road where they don't want you to cut across the median or whatever, they put those little thin plastic orange or whatever things so that if you have to drive over them, they'll bend and break or they'll move or whatever. but that generally speaking, most people won't go over them. Maybe we should think about something like that so that people can't leave the call box and easily get in the exit gate. I'm only bringing it up about the speed bump time because is that something that we want to look at to keep people where we want them going, coming in the gate too? Or does anybody not really care for the look of them and don't really want them anyway? Or, you know what I mean? I think it's an open or a long discussion about the aesthetics of it in the first place and what are we trying to accomplish and will it work? So, but I thought I'd bring it up because it could be maybe related to speed bumps.
Well, you could, yeah, I think something like that would be good because you got to figure out how the car exactly will go. Because if you got the gate open and the car's trying to leave the call box, there's like a certain little pattern they got to go. So that's kind of, but see, you got to think of this too. You got people that, drop their kids off and they like to sit in that little turn right there.
Or the turnaround, yes.
Yeah, or you got people that want to come in our community that can't figure out the damn code that they go around to come back in. I mean, I don't think blocking that off completely is a good idea, but there should be something.
Well, I wasn't implying that you couldn't blocking off the U-turn at all. I wasn't implying that at all. I was just implying putting a few, I'm going to use the word cones there so that when they're leaving the call box and trying to go in the exit gate, it's very difficult that they're going to have to run over something to make it happen. That's all. But for someone who's turning around and leaving, no, it should flow real nice for them.
Well, the thing is, people.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, just I noticed yesterday someone came to the call gate. They were trying to call someone. They were trying to get introduced. I was trying to give them a pass in because I pushed the button, but they seemed to want to stay there, and they reached out to whoever they were trying to talk to in the property, and that person wasn't there, or they told them next time come by again, but they wanted to leave the call box and leave instead of coming into our community. And they had an opportunity to come in, but they chose not to. And I think it would be proper to just leave people that opportunity, that access out. So I don't know how we would be able to put anything up that would keep someone from going in the.
I guess to keep it simple as best I can for an explanation, when our gates are open, right, you try and get in right now, you kind of have to go around the gate to keep from hitting it. And some people have hit it trying to do that. Yep. If we were to add another 1 or 2 cones, making it 2 more feet longer, even though it's not really longer, because, that would be enough more than likely. And we have a couple cones in the RV lot. We could go lay a couple cones up there and we could mess around with a couple cars and see if it makes any sense at all, or if we're just kind of wasting our time. So, but again, because of speed bumps and controlling traffic, I thought I'd bring it up, during.
How about this? How about this? When you go into these rental car places and you drive out, you can't go back in.
If your tires.
Your tires will be tore up. So when we all leave, nobody can come back. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's expensive.
That's not a good idea, I don't believe. What I would like to see us try to do is put up a sign, do not enter.
That works. That's going to work just like the fishing signs do.
Well, sometimes it does. So people will see it, and I mean, it's a beginning. And we go through a process. After we do that, if people are still violating the sign, then move on to something a little bit more severe. But right now, there's no sign there saying "do not enter."
How about we put?
There's always spikes. Just saying.
That's what he's referring to. Spikes.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a little cruel.
Yeah. Well, the other problem is that when folks are
teach them once.
When folks are coming to the call box, you got other people like cutting them off, getting in the gate before the person who's at the the box putting their number in to come in. That's an issue in itself.
That happened to me the other day while I was talking to Dan.
Yeah, and that you can't legislate morality or someone's character.
So,
you can't build character.
Right on that one.
You're gonna have a problem either way. But I have a question, actually not a question, but I understand with the bumps at the stop signs. And I totally get that. But if we're having the problem of people racing down the whole street and we have kids playing, should we at least put one in a development, like in one of the streets somewhere, just so it's something?
Yes, we should, but the thing the point Dan and I were trying to say was, we're okay with getting 4 or 5 or 6, but getting them all at one time
Right.
is going to be a big dime. So if we were to just buy, say, 2 or 3, where would we put them? Yeah, and look, like I said, Dan mentioned that stop sign. He said, because people never stop. They just come rolling through. And I mentioned the gate for the same reason. But yes,
And it kind of talks to what Clyde was talking about. There's already a sign there. They're supposed to stop. They're not
Yeah.
stopping. So we're now moving to the next level. I fully agree with the fact that it's not going to fix the problem with people racing down Las Palmas or La Maderia. I get that. But I have always said, at least we got to get them to start doing what's legal as far as stop signs. And then if they can't figure it out, keep going. You know, I mean,
if they're going to blow a stop sign, I'd rather them blow a stop sign at 4 miles an hour than 14 miles an hour.
right. So,
You know, and then they got that momentum. So,
but to answer your question, I guess directly, Louisa, I think there's enough residents in this neighborhood who are concerned about speed and would be accepting of speed bumps down the roads
yes,
and
I
would
do.
not be upset. I'm sure there will
I
be a
agree.
few upset people.
Oh, no, I'm not
Last
saying
time.
that. I'm saying
Yeah,
I
so-
want them down the roads. I'm
Right.
saying start at the stop sign at La Maderia and Sawgrass and
But-
put one maybe on Las Palmas and not put one at the front gate. Like hold off on the front gate because people have to stop for the gate to open anyway. So they're not like barreling in and going. They're
Well, you say that because you go to the pool. When you're coming up Sawgrass and people drove right through that stop sign and are already doing 20 miles an
I'm
hour
just
in that
saying.
corner and they're half in your lane, yeah, you're like, what the?
yeah, I'm just saying, like maybe consider as well. I know we need them at the stop sign, but maybe consider one at least on one of the streets, you know, just to start so people can say, hey, at least they're
How
seeing
about-
it.
So how about we do this just because we got to solve the problem. We're spending a little bit of cash. And I get it. So why don't we just do the one at La Maderia and Sawgrass, do the one at the gate, Dan and I'll remeasure, and then let's put one on Las Palmas. Now the one on Las Palmas can't go with the stop sign.
No,
That's
No.
gotta go before, because you gotta slow these kids down, and that's gotta go
Mid
in, that's
street.
gotta go in like by the houses, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Mid-block.
kids. There's a lot of
Mid-block.
kids.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like at least have one there. I'm fine with, you know, if we can do that, that would be great.
There's a curb there that maybe could be closer to the curb. I don't know. Either direction. There are children there playing and too many people are flying through
Yeah,
there.
my friend Amanda lives down there. She's got 4 kids. A neighbor across the street just moved in. And I believe she's got 4 kids.
And the other one down street from them has 3.
Yeah, so there's you got 11 kids in
Yeah,
a 100-foot radius out there always playing, and there's no
Oh.
reason why their parents should have to worry about them. So
Right.
I think it's our
Well-
job as a board to protect that.
Yes.
I agree, but
absolutely.
this is why I, from my perspective, stuck with the stop signs in the beginning. The stop signs aren't showing any favoritism to any neighbor or to any child or to any adult or to anything. And so it was a real easy. How do we determine where that speed bump is going to go on Las Palmas? Do we get out a measuring tape and just measure, and where it gets? Do we do it because there's more kids? Do we do it because there's a blind spot? Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, how do we quantify where it's going to go when we place it in the street somewhere? And that's why I kind of had always shied away from it, because I didn't know how to approach that correctly and not show any favoritism or not show any negative or positive or anything for anyone. You know, that's so that would be my concern about putting it in the street. Not that I don't think we need them, because I think we need them. I just don't know how to put them there.
We could put one speed bump in the, right as you're going down Los Palmas and you make that curve. You got two common areas. You know where that, it was by pump 5. Is that what it is? You could put one right there and you could put two poles like you were just talking about right there. Nobody, no house, no resident can complain because that's common area. So we can put at least one there and start the process of people slowing down.
And see that to me, that's a very fair and answer and a starting place. Do we feel that would be a place though that is relevant to slowing people down? I mean, Jim, you come from that area.
I think it's
Ariel,
a
you come
start.
from that area. Clyde, you come from that area. Do you think that open common area, a speed bump there is a correct area to try and slow people down or not really?
It's a start to me. I'm sorry.
What I'd like to say is that I walk every morning at 7 o'clock, 7:30, the most dangerous area, and everybody can hear me because I'm walking in the street because I'm sight impaired and I can't walk on the sidewalks. The sawgrass area is the most dangerous. They come flying around that corner. They're going 30 miles an hour like you would not believe. And there are children that are on their skateboards, the bikes, because they're going to school. They don't care. And that sawgrass area is dangerous. That's the worst. Los Palmos, when they're coming down from, and Jim, I think you're right, that area from the stop sign on Los Palmos going to where the houses are, if you put one there, they've got to slow down there too. Because that sun in the morning goes in their eyes.
That's horrible. That sun in the morning is horrible.
Well, just a week ago Sunday, we're coming back home and there was a gal coming down with her big German Shepherd in the back of her house. She went right into a truck, never put on her brace because she never saw the truck. I mean, it's crazy out there. It really is.
Can I put my 2 cents in?
Oh, he's here.
Right.
Okay, look, in 2007, we had the same issue. This is not nothing new. 2007, maybe 2008, not sure which one. Sarah was on the board. Everybody the board wanted to put speed bumps in the neighborhood. There was something in the bylaws that said that you can't do that. Now, they voted on it. They sent everybody a voting to the door. There was a quorum, and the quorum stated that everyone voted no against speed bumps in the neighborhood. Now, that was then, this is now. But the point was there was some issue from that the board could not do what you want to do. I think that the stop signs are great, but when you get deeper into the neighborhood, why was a need for a quorum for the residents to vote? It happened. And why was there something in the bylaws that says that you had to get a quorum to put speed bumps in it happened. So somebody's got to look back to where we were, to what caused that bylaws in the whatever was there.
I'll run back through it. I've been in there for a lot of other things.
I was here.
Make sure that there's nothing that's in our covenant, in our rules that say no.
Right, because
maybe the confusion was whether or not we could do it because whether it was a public street or private street or things like that. You know what I mean?
Right. I was here and I was one of the no. It wasn't going to go in front of my house.
Well,
and and the other issue was speed bumps with emergency vehicles. That was another big issue.
Mhm.
So I just want to not throw salt in the wound, but when I'm here and I know what I went through, that was a quorum, and the neighbors freaked out. They said, no way.
Were there speed bumps in the development when it was first built?
Nope.
No,
the only speed bumps that have ever been in this
Nope.
neighborhood were up
No.
at the front gates to protect the gates from being hit. That was the only speed bumps that have ever
Were they?
come and gone.
Okay.
through
That's
the neighborhood.
correct. That's correct.
I know there was an issue with speed bumps because when I was on the board long before, we were trying to get them and it was a no, 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 no. But now, like you said, that was then, this is now. Now there's a load of kids in this neighborhood, and now you have more people that are requesting. You have more people that are speed bumps now.
Yeah, but it, you know, you got a bunch of renters too that are requesting. But my point is that from just look back on what was there. And if you got the facts, then you may just get with you may only be able to do the stop signs.
So
I'm
that's
all
what
for
you're
the stop.
saying, Mike, you're saying just do the stop signs now, do research about the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
No.
so my other thing is there a way, like say if somebody's speeding down, Joy, this is probably a question for you. I'm not sure if you can do this or not. But I know police officers aren't allowed in here to do anything. Well, they're not allowed, but they're not coming in here, you know, whatever the issue is with that. But if I see a car speeding and I follow them to their house and I see they're doing, Joy, if I contact you, say, hey, can you send them a letter about
100%.
So
If you give me the address, yes, I will send a notice to this person
Okay.
about speeding in the neighborhood.
So maybe
Got
that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to let the neighborhood know, hey, if you see a car, even if you don't know the tag number, if you can get a description, we could drive around and see. Or if you see them, like, I'll tell you what, I had a person pull in the exit gate and I drove and I followed them to see exactly where they were going. And I emailed Joy and I said, hey, can you send them a letter and let them know, whoever it is, don't come through the exit gate? I don't mind doing that. So maybe we just need to
Right.
let people know, like, hey, if you see somebody speeding, try to get a part of their tag number, the description of their car, see where the car's going, or even contact a board member. And maybe one of us could drive around and see if we could find the car and just send them a letter, you know, something.
Yeah, I
idea.
just would like
I
to
agree.
ask a question. I am not a part of the board and I am new, but I'm going to say part of that I might agree with. But what I have seen is there are people that are really fast about yelling at somebody saying, hey, you're going too fast. And I'm here to tell you, if another person
Right.
screams at me for speeding when I am going literally 17 miles an hour, how do you determine for sure who is really speeding and who is not? Because there are times that it looks like somebody is hauling tail, and I promise you that they are not. So that's my question is, you're not standing there with a radar to know how fast somebody's going. So now you're talking about, I'm going to go get a tag number because I said they were speeding, or I think that they are speeding. And then now they're going to get a letter, but are you sure that they were really speeding? Because sometimes 20 miles an hour around that corner, it does. I mean, it looks fast, but I have had people yell at me and I do not speed. I'm the old lady driving through. It's too crazy in here anyway.
Yeah.
Cars parked everywhere. But my other question besides that is, I wanted to step back a little bit to you guys talking about speed bumps. You guys are talking about the neighborhoods or the streets that y'all live on. I live back here and there's a ton of kids back here. And they are like, that's what, so I just wanted to say that, like, you guys are talking about, we need speed bumps. I'm not necessarily saying speed bumps, but I mean, people speed all through here. And on where I'm at off of La Maderia, there's a ton of kids over here. And unlike the other streets where there are parents standing in the corner streets, these kids over here do not have parents standing in their yards watching them. But I mean, and there's a lot of littler kids back here, which is surprising to me. But I'm just saying, when I agree that there's an issue with speeding. I don't know what the answer is, but I think that we should be very careful of following people and telling somebody's tag number, because then you're getting into, how do you really know they're speeding because you're not doing radar? That's just my personal opinion on that.
Good
Can
point,
I,
Donna.
Can I also say something that, and I know I'm going back to when I was up north. We had an issue where when I was on the board, there was kids playing in the street. They wanted to play basketball and whatever. Well, one of the kids got hit. Well, the child went to the hospital. He was okay. The driver was just freaking out, and it was an accident and it was all fine. Do you know that the parents got cited? They were given a ticket for allowing their children playing in the street, and they were cited and they had to go to court. The street isn't open, whether it's private or not. You got Prime coming through here, Amazon, you got all these big trucks, you got trail. Kids are not supposed to play in the street.
No,
And that's going to be something that, another thing that you might want to look into, that what is Palm Bay's regulations on if hypothetically, a child gets hit by a car in a private property in the street? Was that child playing? Was he given permission to play in the street?
Mike, I don't
Those
think
are-
I see people playing in the street. I don't see kids playing in the street, but we do have kids like playing with, crossing the street. They're playing with neighbors across the street. They're out there, like on Los Palmos,
Right,
where people are flying through. Yes,
Right,
that's a
but-
problem. But no, I don't think we have a problem with children actually playing in the street.
Yeah, and where I live on La Maderia, okay, my neighbor has 4 kids. 2
Okay.
of which are very small, and 2 are, by 10.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Clyde.
Yes,
They're always
Steve.
in the street playing basketball, and there's no.
they just
There it
started
is.
doing that,
They're
There it is.
running around everywhere. But I'm going to tell you this,
but they're different.
right? My friend Amanda, who I was talking about, where there's 11 kids right there. They live across the street from each other. So are they playing in the street? No,
No,
they're playing on each other's properties. But to get there, they have to cross the street.
and that's
So
what I'm
if a
referring
kid's-
to.
If a kid's got a fear crossing the street to go play at his neighbor's house because people have to speed, that's a problem.
Right.
That's the car's fault. That's
And
not
Steve,
kid's
the
fault.
people you're talking about, that's the only place I know of where they do actually play in the street. But Steve or his wife is always out there with their kids.
Well, I don't know, man. I'll show
You don't
a
think
couple
so?
of-
I
don't know.
think Steve.
No, I'll talk to
I
you
don't
about
think so.
that tomorrow, Mike.
Okay.
I'll talk to you about that tomorrow.
Well, if I can
this
possibly interject
discussion,
something to kind of maybe find the middle ground here, because I agree with what Mike's saying. I agree with what Donna's saying.
Right.
I get it all. I mean, really, I understand all of it. I've had someone almost run me over, while I'm walking. I get it. I get all sides of it. But the one thing I've noticed in this neighborhood is, and my neighbor across the street does it, his kids are not allowed in the street. They are not allowed anywhere near the street. But when his kids are out front playing, he takes one of those little yellow
Yes.
safety men and the little flag, and he goes out and he
Yes.
puts it
Right.
at the end of his driveway.
I like that.
Believe it or not, people slow down.
That's
They
right.
actually slow
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yes,
I guess trying to say, how much of this responsibility does the HOA need to take on, and how much of it is actually the individual homeowner's responsibility?
Well,
Right,
that's what Donna
right.
was saying about parents watching, and I have, we live on the pool end and we have a neighbor down and he does the same thing. When his kids are, and they don't play in the street, they play in the yard on the sidewalk, and he puts that down at the end of his driveway as well.
And Steve does the same thing, Jim.
What's you put
well,
out?
I'm going to officially order me one and put it in front of my house.
I've thought about doing it. Seriously, Mike. I mean,
I'm
very
gonna do
seriously, because it does slow them down, and it doesn't matter if it's the FedEx guy or the teenage kid. For some reason, they all tend to slow down around the thing.
But I
Excellent.
hate to see them out there arbitrarily, because then people are going to look at it and say, "Oh, they're
Right.
just
Yeah.
out there."
I
anywhere."
agree.
Oh, come on.
Listen, all I'm
Mike.
trying to say, all I'm trying to say is that there's been complaints and there's people out there that are speeding.
They are
Now,
speeding.
I do have to agree with Donna that I
We
have
can't
seen
tell.
people that come down the road, and I've heard other people say, slow down, and a guy's turning around and he goes, I'm doing 18. So I get it. I totally get that. But there's some people out there you could plain as day see that are just flying
Right.
by. They're the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, and
But
that's
what
what
I'm trying to
that's
say,
what they're flying.
what I'm trying to say is if something happens, okay, I don't want anybody coming back on the HOA saying you didn't do enough. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is,
You'll never do
Unlike-
enough, Jimmy. You're
no,
never gonna do
Mike,
enough.
Mike,
Why don't you guys
stop.
just approve a certain
Stop.
amount that you want to spend on the speed bump, so we can at least get that rolling, and then we'll
Yeah,
figure
you
out.
gotta get something going, because if you want to be reactive, that's when shit happens. So either be proactive and start doing something, or don't do anything and we can keep complaining about it. I just don't want anything to come back on the board and them say, oh, well, they don't do nothing. They don't do nothing about speeding. They put up a stop sign. They do this. Okay, that's fine. Now we're putting up, there's something's been happening at the 2 speed bumps. It's been slowing down. The neighbors have noticed it. So if we got to put them throughout the neighborhood, I get it. And Donna, I live right down the street from you, so I am not against speed bumps down that road. It's just that they're eventually going to get through. It's just we have to start at certain places before we can get to there. So we have to start somewhere. This is where we're starting. So
Correct.
that's what we have to do. And you got to make a paper trail. Got to make a paper trail, and you got to put forth a proactive effort, or else you're never going to win. So that's just my view, and that's what I think. I
Is there
agree with a lot of what people
you
say.
guys want to allocate to this next round of speed bumps?
How
I
many
would
do
make
we
a
wanna
motion that we would correctly measure the front gate and buy 2 speed bumps, 1 for the front gate and 1 for the stop sign on La Maderia, where La Maderia meets Los Palmas.
La Maderia Sawgrass or?
I'm sorry, yes, let me rephrase
Oh,
it. Where La Maderia meets Sawgrass, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, now do you want a motion to get some posts to put on the side of these speed bumps? The decorative post or whatever, or speed limit sign or something?
Not at this moment. I think that we should just go down there and take a look at them. I think that the Sawgrass and La Maderia one, isn't there drains right there? So they're not going to drive over the drains. And at the front gate, we'll figure that out.
All right, so you want to order, do you want to put one on Las Palmas too, or no?
no, let's start
You
with
wanna
the,
order two?
no, we'll start with the stop signs and then do some digging. Dan said he's gonna look into the papers and.
I think just 2
All
for
right,
now.
All right, because now listen, I don't want to, I'm okay with doing those 2, but I don't want to completely shut the speed bumps down. I want to look into it like Mike said. And then I want to, Donna was another one that addressed coming down that road. So it's all around the neighborhood that we need them. So I want to start progressively every month or whatever we can,
Yeah,
buy a couple more bumps.
I think
Yeah.
everyone's in agreement that they're needed throughout. It's just as the budget allows.
Right. And it was brought up.
And that's
I
fine.
believe-
And I'm okay with that.
And I
That's
believe
okay, but,
everybody
you
agrees
Dan,
that,
on a second.
What?
Dan motioned.
I
for the
second.
two.
Yeah, and I agree.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
All right, any other comments on speed bumps, or do you want to move on to no worries estimates?
No worries, please.
Okay. All right, there was a few estimates that have been received from No Worries. Dan is gonna so graciously help me out and put those on his screen while we talk about them. All right, the
there
first
is,
one,
Uh,
go ahead.
Yep, here is estimate 1028. This one specifically talks about going along the fence line on Garyland. It looks like on both sides, I believe it is, and cleaning up that fence line. It's starting to look really rough. The branches and stuff are growing through the fence. It's a wooden fence. I don't believe it's been maintained in quite some time, if ever. So this is just doing, as you can see from the bid, 7 feet on each side. I don't know what that's supposed to really say there, but 7 foot on each side of the fence.
So, I mean, basically going through those, we'll either need a motion or not to move forward, just keep the ball rolling.
All right, so I'll just move on to the other ones real quick, and then we'll
Well,
come back. Or do you want to handle them one at a
it
time?
might be easier to do one at a time as we're going through it, to kind of just do each estimate as we're talking about it instead
All
of
right,
going
sounds good to
back.
me. Well, then I make a motion to go ahead and get this done as proposed or as estimated here on this form.
I'll second the motion.
Do I have all approve?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. We'll move on to the next.
The next one I'm going to pull up is 1026. I pulled this one up because it probably has the easiest. As you can see, I highlighted the things that I thought made sense. Trying to keep within our budget, and we'll obviously can come back to these other things. Trimming the cabbage palms around the pool and trimming the oak trees around the playground.
Yes.
Yes, I
No.
agree with those two.
That's a total of $810 then, but if we just do those two and come back and visit the Christmas palms at a different time.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the trimming of the cabbage palms and the trimming of the oaks around the playground for a total of $810 as seen on estimate 1026 from No Worries.
I second.
I agree.
I agree.
Aye.
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 Y'all caught up yet, Joy?
I'm good. I'm ready for the next one.
Okay, moving on to
Apparently,
1027.
sorry.
Okay. Moving on to
Sorry.
estimate 1027. You can see there's a lot of things going on this one, but I highlighted a certain number of items there: the removal of the pine tree and grind the stump, trimming of the pines on the right side of the gate and the pepper trees, and the palmettos there, and install ground cover up at the front gate. Those three items that are highlighted total $805. I would make a motion to do the three items that are highlighted for $805.
I agree.
I agree.
I second the motion. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
Perfect. There was that one final, Dan, I don't know if you saw that.
Yep, I got it right here.
Nick,
Hold it up. So the last one, which just came through today, which I don't know if any of you other board members have received, is estimate 1030. It is for some more of that blue haze. It is for down at the pool in the two areas that jet out, the little, I call them peninsulas in the parking lot that come out from the, I guess, the RV lot. They had pulled out all those tall grasses, and it is suggested to put this blue haze back there. It's lower to the ground than the tall grasses. That would be the price. It would be nice and dense in there.
This is around the pool or around the plate, around by the fence, the RV fence.
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
You know, when we're pulling in and out of the gate there, that peninsula that sticks out, it's covering that one and the
I
other.
certainly do.
Yep. So. And since we're spending so much money down at the pool area, trying to look nice, I'll make a motion that we approve estimate 1030 as it is.
I'll
second.
second the
I second.
motion. No, I second.
No, I do.
I'm giving this one to Lisa.
I'm not playing anymore.
All approve?
Aye.
Aye.
I think
All right.
I'm feelings.
All right, I will notify Nick of all that has been approved tomorrow and get estimated start dates for those.
Thank you.
Oh, I have a question real quick. The common area, because I'm not 100% sure. You know where the cul-de-sac pool area where Ben lives, that house? Anybody know where Ben lives right there at the cul-de-sac, that common area with the tall grass and the oak trees?
Who's Ben?
Well, he's the one who lives in the house. When you go down to the cul-de-sac, the last house on the left-hand side, you know, all that
Yeah.
area where the oak tree, Dan,
Yeah.
where the oak tree is lifting the sidewalk?
Right.
Yes.
Is Nick supposed to put mulch in there also?
Yes. Yeah, he
Okay.
said, the guys are probably gonna be out here Saturday putting more mulch down, but he was kind of
Okay.
slowing down because he knew that
Oh,
we
that would
might
be
want to do
nice.
something over there by the parking lot and things like that, so.
Okay. Thank you.
And Joy, as a side note, when you talk to Nick, I had talked to him today to ask him if he knew anybody who did concrete and or whatever, and he said he might. So maybe bring that one up when you're talking to him too,
Okay,
for the sidewalks.
I will. All right. Moving on, the next on my list is adding the tow company to the tow sign. I know we've been having an issue with people just parking however long they wanted, whenever they wanted at the pool area. So if anyone's listening, if overnight parking or additional parking is needed and we know in advance, obviously, yes, we try to work with any residents. However, just parking there and using it as additional parking is prohibited for your docks. So just that little background, but we did discuss possibly starting to tow vehicles. And from what I know is we do need to put obviously something on the windshield stating that it is a no parking zone. The vehicle will be towed in 24, 48 hours, however amount of time we want to give them. And then have a sign posted with the tow company that we plan to use. The other way around that I have seen work is that tow sticker that we plan to put on the vehicle, we could list the towing company on there as well, but it is safer to have it permanently posted.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Yep, that sounds good. I'm good with that.
The only question I have, Joy, is does Fairway have a towing company that they're comfortable using on their signs or what?
Yeah, we generally use Kendall Towing is who we've used in the past. I've actually used them to tow things out of the RV lot. And we use them as another association. So that is who, yes, we are.
Okay.
Have used. You can honestly put whoever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't cost anything to us. So we can put whoever on there.
Well, I know, but I just wanted to maybe use
But
a
yes,
company that we
Kendall
already.
is who I would recommend. That is who I have used in the past and who I've had.
This gives them a player who has similar
That's
a big dominant player on the
So do you want us to make a motion on that, or you just want to move forward with it?
yeah, please.
I make a motion that we
Why don't
go
you
ahead and
move-
get a sign that discusses who the towing company is and that they will be the one towing vehicles that are not in conformance down at the pool.
I second that motion.
I agree. Do you want to state that it's going to say Kendall?
I did.
Okay. I agree. I'm good.
All approve?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. The last I had was the Ed's concrete proposal, which Dan, you responded with that you thought that was kind of high, which I understand. I will try to get some additional quotes for that concrete. I will reach out to Nick and try to reach out to some other companies as well. So I'm assuming we'll just table that until additional quotes.
Yes, please.
That is all I had for new business unless anyone else had anything else.
Raid alert. I didn't even know this was allowed. How exciting.
The last thing I had was for violations. This most recent inspection, I came with one additional for finding, and that's for 1601 Los Palmas for the inoperable vehicle. They do not have tags on the vehicle that's in the driveway.
So obviously operate. So
I would just y'all send that to finding.
you have the connection with Saban and Belichick, and to me, Mac Jones, that's what they want to do. He's a
I had a hard
popular
time hearing you. I think you said 1601 Los Palmas for their inoperable vehicle with expired tags is what you're.
It has no license plate at all on there.
Okay.
of a distributor in the rock to a talented playmakers.
I get frustrated with them because I know that the first thing that's gonna happen when they get that letter is they're gonna call
Is there
me.
a company?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna have to,
I worry about trade stuff for you guys. I don't
I guess my question is the board ready to fine 1601 for this vehicle?
Yes,
the reason I'm asking this is because we went through this before with pressure washing and it got out of hand, and then the board made a decision to not even find them, et cetera, et cetera. So before we get ready to find these people, I want to make sure that the board has a plan about how we're going to handle this.
Find them.
Well, it's clear as day, the documents, they've had several letters. It's not one of those gray ones where you can't figure out which it is. It specifically states no inoperable vehicles.
Correct. Sorry, Louise, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're
But
good.
that was before, and I have changed the verbiage on those type of letters. So, but up to you guys.
Hey,
I
they
guess
can fix it. They can go put tags on it, pay for it, and pump the tires up. They're good.
I guess the question I have, Joy, is, so they've had their 3 letters.
Correct.
Yeah. And well, they haven't said anything to me about their 3 letters. So apparently they know they have to fix it. So I guess I'm fine with it. I just want to make sure everybody else realizes that, that this couple is going to come and come back and they're going to knock on our door. So I'm fine with it. I'm just letting you know, are we ready for that? So.
Well, they got 3 letters, right? So what more are we supposed to do?
I don't know. No
Well,
idea. Find them. Hey, really, find them.
To send them to fine if that's what we're gonna do.
They got 3 letters. They got to take it. They can knock on your door all day long.
Well, they technically have 2 letters. They'll get a 3rd letter stating they have a date to correct it by, or fining will start.
Well, there you go. And if they don't do it, let them knock.
Okay.
So, but once
All right.
again, just a motion to do that.
Yep, I make a motion to go ahead and move forward with 1601 for the car that's in the driveway as appropriate.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Louis, I didn't hear you, and you're the only
Oh,
girl
I
who
said,
stands.
no, I said, I sorry.
All right, that is all that I have in reference to that. So if no other board members have anything, we can open it for open discussion.
The last thing that I have, which I'll get a hold of Jeff, I haven't got our sprinkler pump, our pickups for the lake cleaned yet. I told him to do it in April. I will check in with him to make sure he has got us on the schedule to get those filters cleaned this month.
Yeah. I have something, while we were talking about the gates, the reflector tapes that are on the gates have faded terribly. And at night you can barely see them and they need to be replaced. And
Okay.
also, Nick has done the mulch on the inside of the community, but I don't see anything being done on the outside berm on the Bayside Lakes area, and it's looking really run down. When is he going to do that?
I believe he was waiting until these estimates were approved or not to know if he was going to replace any of the trees out there. Are you talking about on the actual berm, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he was waiting to see if any of these estimates were going to be approved because he wanted to get these things planted before replacing the mulch.
Okay, so can we guesstimate at this point now that it'll be done by May 1st?
He's gonna be out here Saturday putting more mulch in. He knew that tonight was the meeting and he would then know exactly what we approved. It may have been difficult to read some of those estimates that were there, but there were a lot of trees that could have possibly been planted out on both sides of the front berm. There were some bushes replacements out there and things like that. So he was kind of slowing down to see what he would be planting from this meeting. So I
Right.
expect him to
And
start
not
moving
only
forward
that,
now.
Trimming the oaks, you don't want to trim it on good, I'd rather trim it on old mulch and rake it up.
Right.
Okay, let's see if he gets it done this time.
What do you mean by that? He'll get it done.
Well, he's had the contract since November and, it just, well, I'll do it in February. I'll do it when we cut the grasses. Then it was March and here it is April.
right.
You just gotta watch your vendors. If they say they're gonna do something, they gotta do it.
I get
in
it.
a timely
But
manner.
this, I get it, but I'm gonna tell you this. I want to tell you this. He may be falling
Well,
behind on a couple little
this
things.
year too, so, because their mulch truck was down. If it
Yeah,
makes
but
any
he may be falling behind on a couple things, but I'm gonna tell you something. He has almost 100% less complaints than we had when we had Flawless. So if we have to wait an extra month or two for our mulch, I'm fine with that.
Excellent.
That's
Because
second
our
at the most.
property, 90% of our property looks phenomenal and no worries. Not only do they have their owner on property, they care. So with that being said, I'm willing to give them a little extra time.
And
I
as a
think
side
Jimmy
note,
likes it.
directly, as a side note directly related to mulch, he's actually putting down twice as much mulch as we've ever had before.
That'll
Literally
be,
an extra inch and a half. So
the inside of the community looks great. It looks really good. You know,
It
just
does.
want him to finish the job, that's all.
Exactly. It's really looks good. Can
I
I be
will
next?
notify him first thing tomorrow morning of what's going to be replanted and get a definite date of when the rest of the mulching will be done, so the rest of the community is done, Muriel.
Thank you, Joy.
Not a problem at all. Anyone else have anything?
Yes.
You already spoke, Mike.
Wait a minute. Come on.
see if I
I
give
get-
you the link to get to this meeting again.
What's up, buddy?
Well, you guys answered one of them for the information for communications. That's awesome. I'm really excited about that. And that's going to be big enough for me to read it. So that's even going to be better.
Yeah, we have an
And-
extra magnifying glass with it.
Thank you. I'll
You're
need
welcome.
it. And the other was Joy, you're the one that that seems to be a thorn in your side is FP&L.
I have actually finally got a different contact. I resent over the contract that I signed with the original guy. So I'm now waiting to hear back from him, but he seems to be a little bit more responsive. So I'm hopefully it's going to move forward because he requested a lot of redundant paperwork that I've already sent over. So, and that was just last week. So
Excellent.
I will
Excellent.
keep you posted. I think the guy before just didn't turn anything in.
Okay.
So, but thankfully I had it all done. So I was able to just resend the file over.
Good, good. Thank you very much. And that's all I got. You guys are doing a great job. I really appreciate you. You too, Jimmy.
Jimmy left, but I'll
Hey,
let him
no,
know. Yeah.
Jimmy's
Oh,
here.
there you go. All right.
Jim's taking a nap. Anyone else have anything?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank all you guys for coming and listening to the meeting.
All right. Once again, sorry for my son's outburst. He's 2 now, so very vocal.
Gotta love it.
I
The
do have a
next-
question. Has the vacant board member position been filled?
Not yet. We have gotten a few inquiries, so the board is still discussing who they'd like to add on. But that will be discussed within the next couple meetings.
Hold on.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Right. The next meeting will be May 11th.
Oh, garage sale. Reminder.
Garage sale will be April 17th.
17th.
Saturday. From 8
This
to
coming
2.
Saturday. Yeah.
All right. Everyone else, have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joy. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye, George.